Good afternoon, 8th graders. This is our video on solving two-step equations. So I'll put an example here. P divided by 4 plus 5 equals 8. And if we remember, whenever we solve equations, we're trying to get the variable alone. So we want to get P alone, which means we need to take whatever's with it and make it go away. Looking at this equation, let's think about what's going on to P. So what's happening with it if we look at it from a math operation standpoint? The first thing we notice is it's being divided by 4. So if you did the order of operations, that's the first thing you would do if the value of P was known. You divide it by 4. And then after that, you would add 5. Now when we're talking about getting this variable alone, and we're going to undo the operations that are with it, make them go away. However, because we're trying to unwrap this, you start on the outside level. So we start with the operation that's furthest away, and we're going to undo those operations in reverse order. So this means we would undo the addition first, because that's the second operation that's happening. You can think about this just like we're unwrapping the present. You always start with the thing that's on the outside, the thing the last thing the person who wrapped it did. So untying the bow, unwrapping the present, cutting the tape, opening the box. The person who wrapped that started out by doing closing the box, and from there. So we need to undo the addition first. So we write it on both sides like this. Now the next thing you really need to make sure you do is bring down what's left over. So P divided by 4 is left over. And make sure you rewrite this equation. So this should be here on every problem. Now we need to undo the division. So we multiply. That means P should equal 12. Now when you start getting into more advanced equations, you're going to want to check your answer. So here we're going to show how to do that. P is supposed to equal 12. So instead of writing P, I'm going to write 12. And just everything else. So let's do this math. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. And if we look back at our equation, it should be 8. So that we know we were right. When P is the value of 12, this left side equals 8. So we know it has to be 12. Now, just to make sure that you're actually having to do the outside operation first, having to undo that one first, let's not do it and see if we still get the right answer. So instead of undoing the addition first, I'm going to undo the division. And then we're going to check it and see if we get the right answer. So P equals 27. So I plug in 27 for P, divide by 4, do plus 5. When I do this math, I think I get something like 6 and 75/100ths plus 5, which equals 11 and 75/100ths, which obviously does not equal 8. So we know this method is wrong. So we have to undo the outside operation first. All right, looking at this equation here, the first thing happening to n is division, the second thing addition. So we undo it in the opposite order. We subtract first. Show work on both sides, bring down what's left over, bring down what we get here. Make sure you're doing this. This has to be here. Don't just do both steps up at the top. Now we need to multiply because that's division. Show this cancels out, and n should equal 6. Now if I look back up here, I can do this in my head. Think about n is 6. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 plus 7 is 9. I know I'm right. So it's a really easy check, and you can make sure you're right by doing that. Okay, now here we have decimals. We can still do this with, even though it's decimals. The first thing happening to the variable is multiplication by that 2 and 5/10. Then it's subtraction. So I need to get rid of the outside one. I need to add first. That's the operation that's furthest away from the variable. Okay, now I need to think about this as multiplication. So that means I divide. I've seen people in this situation add, because this is a negative 2.5. Even though that's negative, the operation is still multiplication. And to undo multiplication, we must divide. You also have to make sure you divide by a negative, because you're multiplying by a negative. And I'm going to put that into my calculator. My answer will be negative because I've got one negative sign in the problem. And I get 1 4/10 equals m. And since you have a calculator, you can actually check that as well. So let's go to 3. Now this one, looking at it, the first thing happening to k is the addition, because it's all in the top of this fraction. It's one giant fraction. That addition is actually closer to k than the division of 9. So because the division of 9 is further away, it's on the outside, we undo that first. Multiply by 9 on both sides. Bring down what's left over. Now we need to subtract. K equals 50. And this looks like it'll be easier to check in my head. Okay, so put in 50 for K. 50 plus 4 is 54, and 54 divided by 9 is 6. So I know I'm right. And you're going to do number 4 on your own. See you guys tomorrow.